What's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today is going to be something a little bit different. I am going to give you an inside glimpse into one of my pop-up coaching sessions for the Moms Marketing Lounge VIP program. So right now the program is currently open. I will link everything below in the description, but again, inside of the Moms Marketing Lounge, I created a program. And it's really all about how to get started with online marketing, because I don't know about you, but one of the biggest struggles that I had was I felt super overwhelmed when I first got started. I felt like I was constantly chasing my tail. I didn't know what to do first, second, third, and so I was out there and I was doing all these things, but it wasn't working. And therefore, that is really how the MML program came to be. It's everything I wish I had known when I first got started. Now, as an add-on to the program, you can add on the VIP. So you can become an MML VIP, which allows you to get some extra perks. One of those perks being coaching in a group setting. And so we do weekly pop-up coaching sessions via Zoom, where anytime somebody is stuck during the program or they just want some extra tips or some extra coaching or questions or anything like that, we hop on and do kind of face-to-face coaching in a group setting. And so what you're about to see is a pop-up coaching session from June. And because our sessions are a little bit longer, I just wanted to give you a couple of extra tips. If you're like, dude, I don't know that I want to sit through an hour-long training. Totally get it, okay? So what I'm going to do is, in the description of the video, I am going to timestamp each topic that we talked about. So if you want to jump ahead, you can jump right ahead, fast forward the video to that particular timestamp, and kind of listen in, be a fly on the wall, and hopefully you will get some really good takeaways that you can implement for your own business. So just a little heads up about some of the different topics we're talking about when it comes to online marketing. We've got a student who has 2 websites and she's wondering which website should she go with as far as naming it. We talk about another student, Jaime, and just giving her tips on an offer that she is creating, a membership program. And so we talk about, that. I talk about one of the new Facebook updates. I've been getting a lot of questions around, I'm seeing people use the bold and italics and different fonts and stuff, and how do I do that? So I walk through a little tutorial of that. We talk about YouTube, YouTube strategy, outro. We talk about time management, because I have a student who actually is juggling 2 different businesses. And so we kind of talk about that. And let's see what else. I go over someone's profile overview, do a Facebook profile overview for one of the students, look at their intro. We talk about just marketing in general, call to actions, weekly content. So a lot of tips and a lot of coaching just around, obviously, online marketing. So hope you enjoy it. Again, check the description for timestamps. And if you are on a desktop computer, FYI, feel free to put this on double speed or speed up the video so you can kind of get through it a little quicker as well. And before I hop in and show you this behind the scenes of a pop-up coaching session in MML, I just want to let you know, in case you are totally new to me and my channel, what's up? I'm Sherri Brown. I'm the creator of the Moms Marketing Lounge program, and it's really my passion to help those busy moms who are on a mission to build a business and get it right the first time. And on this channel, I do everything from product reviews and tutorials, as well as actual social media and marketing strategies you can implement to go further faster when building your business online. So if you're new here and this kind of seems like it's your jam, if it's up your alley, then just subscribe. Just make sure that you click the bell so you get notified as I upload new videos every single week. Kristi, let me know, is there anything in particular that you are needing help with or have questions about?
I just have a quick question. I have finally gotten stuff up on my website. I've got 4 blog posts up, and I've got a link to a freebie giveaway and mailing list and all that good stuff. But here's the thing. I have 2 websites. I have startingoverstrategist.com, and then I have myname.com. Okay. I currently have myname.com redirecting to Starting Over Strategist, and I'm backwards on that, aren't I?
I'm a huge fan in branding your name.
Right.
Simply because, and this is something that I was talking about with Ray, we were going back and forth when she was talking about what should she rename her Facebook page.
Right.
And here's the deal. There's most people, if you look at big time influencer or big time influencer, like they're branding themselves.
Right.
If I go to Oprah Winfrey, you know what I mean? Like on Facebook, her page is Oprah Winfrey.
Right.
And I know for me, if you think about it, you know, there's been times where I've been thinking of like, you know, a particular person who I know, you know, had a business, but literally because they didn't have their page as their name and they had it as something else, I can never remember it. People are always going to remember your name. It's going to be a lot easier for somebody to remember your name than it is, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I love starting over strategists, but you know, it's going to be easier for people to remember your name than acuteandclever.com.
Okay. And I can always do my name.com and then call myself the starting over strategist, so I don't lose that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and all my social media names are my name.
Yes.
So I had been really stressed about that, and then I thought, wait a minute, I've got this backwards. So I'll just get Bluehost live support to go fix it for me.
Yeah, they can fix it. And then of course, you know, like even on your profile, you know what I mean? On your intro, starting over strategist, like you're branding yourself, like that is what you are becoming known for, is the starting over strategist. So have that everywhere. So it really burns into people's mind, like why you matter, what you help people with, what problem you solve. And stick with your name as far as your brand.
Okay. And I've got to really nail down my tagline. I love the title, Starting Over Strategist, but I've got to nail down a tagline that I love. And I keep tweaking it every time I say it, and I'm like, it's got to be consistent.
Why don't you post it in the Moms Marketing Lounge Facebook group?
Okay.
Because I can look at it, but then also we've got several girls who are like, in here that just, they can pop off and randomly tweak, and they're going to let you know, because my big thing with any type of tagline is it clear? Is it concise, or is it confusing? Because the one thing that's always stuck out to me is that saying that Donald Miller says, if you confuse, you lose. A confused mind never buys. So making sure that it's clear, concise, and people are automatically going to know, because the clearer you can be, that's going to help, like, you know, just with your sales. People aren't going to have to burn calories trying to figure out, like, what is it that you do. So put what tagline you have in there. If you have a couple of variations that you're thinking about, put it in the group, and I can give you some feedback. And you know, the women inside of there are epic too, and they're going to tell you their opinion and give you some ideas, and to come up with something that you like. And hey, if it changes down the road, that's fine. I have literally changed my tagline multiple times over the years, because I've shifted, like I've just tried to be more clear, or I've tried to make it shorter and more concise and things like that. So let's just find something that works for you now that you really like. And then a year from now, if it changes or you tweak it a little bit, it's fine. Don't sweat it. It's no big deal.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Jaime, are you there? I know that you have got your...
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So don't judge me, health nut. I'm taking a drink of Dr. Pepper.
Why are you worried about that?
No, I just laugh at it.
Balance.
We have so many. Well, I have drank water this morning. I will say that. No, I wanted to chat with you about what's going on as far as the membership. And yeah, because sometimes it's just easier to chat face to face than it is going back and forth in comments. So I know when it comes to your membership, you've kind of put it on hold for the simple fact of the music that you were using for the routines. When you were posting them to Facebook, it was muting out part of it due to copyright issues. And then somebody told you that it wasn't, like, you couldn't put it up on YouTube or whatever and put it in your Facebook group. And then somebody else said you need to pay royalties. So, and then I was kind of chatting with you to find out, because I know when it comes to the membership, you were going to upload one workout video a week that had the music to it, right? And that was the issue, is the music, the copyrighted music. Now you teach other classes. You teach
So the majority of what I teach is hip hop cardio. So that's the class format that would have been uploaded once a week, is hip hop cardio. And so that's all your current, music that's on the radio type of thing. There's really no way to put it with different music. The strength, I only teach once a week, and I'm not sure how long that class is going to actually last. There's a lot going on in the two gyms that I'm working at, on what the future of what classes I teach are. Basically what I was told is that you can upload your videos onto YouTube, and any of your revenue from ads goes back to that artist. So that's how.
Well, you can't monetize.
Right. But
if it's copyrighted.
Right. If I take that link and I put it into something where I'm making money off of it, that's where I will get potentially fined, because I don't own the music that is in essence what they're paying for.
Okay. That I honestly don't know. That's like legal stuff when it comes to music. One of the best things I can tell you is, if you know anybody else who does the same, I would find out. There's got to be other people who teach hip hop cardio online or something like that maybe you can find out and get some advice from them.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of different people. Two of the people have their own websites, and they're the ones that are paying that, like $2,000 overarching royalty fee for music, and they run it through their websites. The fitness marshal was that gentleman who runs the fitness marshal. He was talking to one of the girls that has it up and running, and because he's just kind of left his stuff on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on YouTube for right now. And then I have another girl who I talked to who's kind of in the same boat as I am, trying to figure out what she wants to do. But she does more boot camp type stuff, so I think she might be able to get around it a little bit easier than what I am, because she can put, it doesn't matter what music's with hers.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you're not wanting to because I don't want this idea to die or be put on hold for copyright reasons, you know what I mean? So, because I also want you to be up, making profit as well. And the main thing was the one video a week, like the hip hop cardio. So why not you could do a couple of things here, and I'm just throwing some ideas out, and it's totally up to you what you want to do with it. But, that's why I was saying, well, if you do strength training, and even if it's not you teaching a class, you could still record yourself doing strength training, you know what I mean? And upload one video a week to the group, to where even, you know what I mean? Because you'd just be switching out one for the other. So poll your audience, is the hip hop cardio the main thing somebody was wanting to come into the class for, or were they wanting to come in just to get a community and get healthy recipes and learn how to live a healthier life? And you see what I'm saying? Because for you, I feel like because you're not uploading the hip hop, that you don't think that anybody would pay you money for the knowledge you already have, or for other videos that could go in place of that. Does that make sense?
It does. I think one of the eye openers, I think, for me with opening that, and I'm the one who pushed this very aggressively, but I think one of the eye opening things for opening up is that my audience is not big enough. And I really need to spend time, like you said, I'm an infant at YouTube. I haven't even been birthed yet. I need to spend some time really building that audience, and then go back after it. Because one of the girls, like I said, that I talked to that's running her website, she's making significant money doing this.
Yeah.
And so paying that $2,000 is like nothing to her.
Yeah.
So that's where my thought process is that if I can build up the audience that I have, whether it's through the free Get Fit Peeps challenges, or if it's through YouTube, or if it's through local classes, I think that's kind of the other piece to this is that locally, my classes, the gym, not me, but the gyms that I am are in a bit of an uproar. And, you know, some of that uploading was really based on the classes that I was teaching. And it's a little scary to think, well, if you don't have a place to teach, how do you upload stuff? So I don't know. I will tell you this. I was upset about pulling it down, but it's not something that has devastated me. I almost wonder if it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise just because of what's going on.
Yeah, well, as far as not having a place like a studio, you could go fitness marshal on it and record you doing it in a park or something like that. So that it, you know what I mean? Like there's always a place to shoot. Now, I'm totally fine if you're fine with it, taking the time to really build and nurture your audience. But I don't want you just to sit on it and sit on it and sit on it, because I'm a firm believer that you don't have to have a massive audience to make really good money. I do not have like a massive audience right now, and I still make really good money. I don't have a massive list because it's not so much about the numbers, but the relationship that you have with those people. And as long as you're clear, concise, and you create something that you know is going to help people, that's what matters. So I'm totally fine. I think it's a really good idea in regards to you having a membership site. And especially, you know, if you want to take some time, build up your Facebook group, grow your freaking email list. Like, use that Facebook group. When you do a challenge, make people opt in for that challenge, like create an opt-in page for it, and, you know, opt in. That way you can grow your list and really start developing those relationships with people, you know, in your community. You're growing over on YouTube. That's totally fine. But also think about how you can kind of rework it if you don't add the hip hop, because I know when me and you were talking before, you're like, okay, I can't keep pounding my body like this. And eventually I would really like to incorporate some mindset and some stuff like that. So think about how you can kind of transition that. And instead of making it just like all fitness, you know what I mean? Like all, like a membership site where it's just like hip hop cardio, how can you add in some of the other stuff you're thinking about so you don't feel like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just keep pounding your body forever. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think that, you know, I really enjoy the YouTube piece of it. And I think it's fun kind of learning that piece. And I think exactly what you're saying is spot on, because it's a little bit there. The focus is really the whole body, not just doing cardio, right? So that is easier to start to meld those other pieces together through YouTube.
Yeah, because I think hip hop cardio is a fun piece of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fun piece, but I don't feel like you should totally have to go back to the drawing board and totally just X your idea just without that piece. You see what I'm saying? Because there's so much more you can have to a membership site and help people with when it comes to fitness and knowledge that you have. But yeah, so just think about, you know, go back to the drawing board while you're building, you know, while you're building up your audience and while you're building up your email list and your community, and think about, list some different things that you would really like to include in your membership, aside from what you already have, you know, recipes and, you know, just things like that. Think about your ideal audience and then try to figure out, like, okay, this is what I want to include in my monthly membership. I think it's a very smart idea, and it's a great way to build residual income for you. And I don't feel like you have to have some massive audience to do really well. Okay. And we can go back and forth with it too. I think polling your audience and finding out, like, really talking to people, you know what I mean? And really finding out, like, what their problems are, what they're struggling with, like, what would they pay money for? You know what I mean? Like, what would they be willing to whip out their credit card for to help solve their problem? Is it accountability? Is it, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the times it's not what people think it is. You know what I mean? It's, I was listening to a podcast, and I can't remember I can't remember whose it was, but it was a guy, and he was talking about how he had a membership program, and they would, like, poll their audience, kind of like I do in the Moms Marketing Lounge. And they would pull their audience, and one piece of it, he was a pastor, okay? And one piece of it, was, you know, how in church, like on Sundays, when it comes time to like, you know, hand out the baskets for, you know, people to like tithe and stuff like that. Well, a big thing for a lot of pastors is to make it fresh. So it's just something different, and they don't really know what to say when it comes to, here it's time to pass out these things. So when they started polling their audience, what they discovered was that was a huge reason that so many people were staying in that membership and paying every single month. It wasn't for all the extra trainings they were given. It was for one piece, a script a brand new script once a week that told them what to say when it came time to hand out those money baskets at church. And, you know, to them, they weren't even thinking about it because that was such a small piece in their mind, but it was the main thing that was keeping people staying in that program. So don't be afraid to poll and find out, you know, that way you can really include what people are wanting.
Okay.
Okay. But keep rocking it. You're doing awesome. So just keep at it, but I definitely want to see you relaunch that. Okay. Let me see. Heather, okay. I think Heather, you had asked the question. I've had a few people asking me lately, and I'm going to get back on. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to cross my little fingers too that my mouse does not freeze up real quick. But I've had a lot of people asking here lately, like, how do you, let me make this a little bit smaller. How do you change the fonts and do like bold and italics and stuff like that on Facebook? So I'm going to show you how to do this. A little forewarning, or just a heads up. This is not available to do on mobile. It's only for desktop. You can only do it on desktop, and it's only available to do inside of Facebook groups. So you can't do it on your Facebook page. You cannot do it on your Facebook profile natively on Facebook. There are some like third-party softwares that you can use, or like little apps or websites that you can use to change fonts and stuff, but I wanted to show you how to do it. So again, if you're in a group, all you have to do is, okay, so this only works right now inside of Facebook groups. You can change our bold text, make text italics. You can add little, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. I'm going to say dots, but they're not dots. Like, okay, so here's what you do. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So once you see this right here, like you kind of hover over it and it pops up. So if you want to bold something when you're doing a post, you just hover over it and then this pops up. So bold only works, and then I can highlight it, and then italics. And then these right here, if I highlight these, now you see I can either bold or italics, but if I hover over this, I can click here and make the little lists right there, and then I can bold, make italics, boom. So that is how people are doing like these fun little things inside of Facebook groups to change the look of it. And to me, it just makes it stand out a little bit more than just regular plain, you know. So testing, testing, testing. And then if I were to highlight these and go right here, I could number them. So if I'm doing like tips, 1, 2, 3, you know, I could do that like tip 1, 2, 3. And that's how you do it. So I think that was the question Heather had. All right, so before I get to these other questions, Laura, did you have any particular questions for me?
No, not really. I'm just still working on the editing of all the videos I've done, and then working on the thumbnails and all that stuff. So.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm still getting with Jen about changing your thumbnail just to show you how to do it, because I want her to do a tutorial to show you. She's just better at it than me, and she's going to make it look better. But whenever I went live, or I did the coaching session on Tuesday, one part was about the outro. Did you happen to listen to that?
I did, yes, and I commented on the stuff below. I do that because I do that with Facebook Live, so I kind of already do it in the video, I guess, because I always say, you know, my question of the day. But I guess I need to work on, I guess, the wording, like the wording that YouTube uses compared to Facebook. Like, well, I know in my intro I do the subscribe and I say the bell, but then I guess in the outro just like comment below, make sure you that, like those just little things that are only on YouTube, not anywhere else, you know?
Yeah.
So
usually at the end of it, it's just, for me, I'm like, hey, I'll do like a recap sometimes, and then I'll say, if you got some value, be sure to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. And then I'll have the call to action. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it kind of changes, but at the end of it, those are the two big things. As I say, hey, if you like this video, or if you got some value, be sure to, you know, hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribed to my channel. And then I'll go into the call to action, whether it be linking to another video, hey, go check this out, or this is the freebie, you know, download it here, or, you know, something like that. And generally, I'll just usually copy that too. What I started doing was copy it like into, not like this video and subscribe, but I will link it, like pin it to the top in the comments. So when I did a video about the Passion Planner giveaway on how to enter, like the rules to enter, I just copied, hey, here are all the details on how to enter the giveaway. And I just copied that part in the description, and I put it in the comments of the YouTube video, and then pin that comment to the top too.
okay. Yeah.
But,
So I think kind of what I'm already doing, and I guess that's where I kind of got confused, is I thought you had to have like a little intro video and then do your content video and then a little outro video. But a lot of it's from Facebook, so I kind of already do all that already. I already kind of have my intro, even though I do it on Facebook,
yeah.
and I already kind of have my outro. So I just need to, instead of sharing or I don't know, comment below, I just need to say the YouTube stuff. So
Yeah, just use it, change the language, but really it's just, hey, what are you wanting people to do? What, you know, like what's the goal of the video, which you know, and just adding in those little, hey, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. You know, people don't say that on Facebook, so, you know, just changing it to the YouTube lingo is fine. But I think you'll get better and better. So if you don't do it on one, don't beat yourself up. Just think about, hey, what's the ending of it? And especially at the beginning, as long as you're telling them like, hey, subscribe to my channel, like that's fine. Most people, yeah, unless they just really freaking like you, aren't going to sit here and listen to the entire, you know what I mean? Like they're going to get the meat out of it. You know what I mean? So, you know, you can get better and better. And if you miss it one time, don't worry. Just, you know, just keep adding stuff as you go. Instead of trying, because that's the big thing. Instead of trying to remember like everything you should do and everything you should say in a video, start with one thing, get used to it, and then start adding in, you know what I mean, a little bit more. I think that's fine, because otherwise it just gives you a headache, and you know what I mean, like you get frustrated, and I get it.
yeah.
So,
and I guess I was just, like I said, I was just kind of getting confused. Like I thought it was multiple things, and I was already doing it in my video, because I do record my Facebook Live, or not record, but I go live, and then before it or after it, I'll just re-record another one for YouTube.
yeah.
So I think I don't know. Now I'm questioning. I don't know if I've been doing that lately, but anyway, so that's what I'm just kind of working on that. But then I started thinking today, like, I'm like really busy with my other business trying to hire teachers, and then I'm like, I have all this editing stuff I need to do, and then with my other business, there's other things I have to do. I'm like, oh my god, it's like there's times where I get so busy, so I'm like, how do I, you know, get to all of it? And that's, I guess I'm kind of struggling with that still. But
Have you gone through the time management module, module 5?
yeah.
So from there, where like you're still struggling with it even after going through that?
Yeah, and I plan it out too, but then like something will come up, like I'll get a phone call, like literally all this week on my way home from my class. When I get home from class, I'm calling potential clients or candidates for a job position. So I'm talking to them, and then I'm like emailing them with the application, and so what I had planned to do is now sidetracked because of that, and then like tomorrow I have like 2 things that are due tomorrow with my other business, and so it's like I try to focus on something, but then other things come up, and so that's where it's just, I don't know, it's just getting hard. But on all that, I'm 2 weeks ahead on my research for my content. So I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I guess one day I just sat down and did that, but then all the other things that are coming up got behind. So it's like I just have a lot to do, and
Yeah.
it's just I'm gotten better with the planning. It's just I still haven't, I guess, mastered it yet.
Yeah. And I think that because this is a big thing when it comes to time management. I think, again, it's very like, it depends on what season. You know, your schedule in the summer could look drastically different than it does, you know, during the school year. And I know for me personally, being a mom and having a child out, you know, during the summer and she's not in school, in the summer, like I still work and I still have a focus. You know what I mean? Like every week I have a focus, and every day I have a focus, even if it's just one thing. And I just have to be okay with not being able to work as much as I want to, because I could literally work so much, but I can't because it's different for me in the summer. And I also know that you have to give yourself some grace too. So that's another tip. Give yourself some grace. I always upload videos on Monday without fail to YouTube every Monday. And as soon as I sat down at my computer, my mom calls me on Monday. And my husband's grandmother was in the hospital. She was sent to the ER. And I was planning on going to the hospital to see her on Tuesday. And I sat down to record the video on Monday. And mom's like, have you gone to see Matt's grandmother? And I was like, no, I plan on doing that tomorrow. I've sent the girls over there. They're seeing her now. And she was just like, Sherri, I really think that you don't need to wait. I think you need to go. And just a gut feeling, I just immediately got up and I was like, you know what? The video, like, if I get it done tonight, that's fine. If not, I'll get it up this week. And that's what matters, like my weekly content. And I'm so glad that I did it, because she ended up passing away Monday night. So had I waited until Tuesday, I wouldn't have gotten to see her. And, you know, and that happens. It's life. Stuff's going to pop up. One thing I'm going to tell you is, instead of trying to bunch a bunch of stuff in each day, what is your main focus? 1 to 2 things. You know what I mean? Like, what's the main focus? This whole, like, since school's been out, I have 2 main focuses each week. Get my YouTube video up and finish the Mom's Marketing Lounge program. Like, that is it. I obviously I'm in the group, because that's just like brushing my teeth. I come into the Mom's Marketing Lounge VIP group every single day. Like, I don't have to think about it. I don't put it on my planner. It's, you know, I just do it. I just out of habit. But those are my 2 big things. Now there's other stuff that I would like to do, but if I have time, great, I'll add those other things. If I don't, and this is all I can do, that's all I can do, and I'm going to be okay with it. You know what I mean? Another tip is, when you sit down and you work on something, shut your computer, turn your ringer off. Yeah. Put it in a different room. Like, if you are tempted by the phone ringing and you know that somebody's going to need something, it's going to take you away from your priority right now, that you're going to have to send emails or you're going to have to do this for your other business, put it in another room, because right now you're focusing on this business. And you know what? You'll get to that when you're done with this. If you have an hour and a half to work on, your side business, don't answer the phone when somebody calls. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not just an emergency, put your phone in another room. And you have to know your own triggers. Like, I know I get distracted, so I have to turn my phone on silent. I know that I get distracted when I'm working on my computer, so I have to turn off notifications, because even if I'm working on like the Mom's Marketing Lounge, like the slides, if I see notifications pop up and something interests me, I know me. I'm going to click on it and it's going to take me away from it. So I have to get those distractions out. You know what? I have to be very conscious and very aware and do things so that I don't get distracted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I actually did that the other day, and I think that's why I got all my research done like a week ahead. I didn't log into Facebook, and so I think that was one thing, because it does pop up on the notifications. And a lot of times I'm good at I ignore it, but if one thing pops in my head, I'm like, oh, let me go to Facebook real quick, and then 5-10 minutes later, I'm just scrolling, So yeah. I did turn Facebook off, or not off, but I didn't log on, and so I think that helped, and that's why I got a week ahead. And then even last night, I was like, I'm just tired. I didn't want to do anything, so I was laying on the couch, but then I was listening to YouTube videos and doing the next week's research. So it's like, I got ahead with research, and I'm trying to keep on top of that. But then it's I've noticed this about me. Even when I was teaching, I'll clean my classroom. My classroom would be organized, crazy clean, but then my house would get messy. So then I clean my house, and then I feel like the classroom was messy. So it's I couldn't keep up with both, and that's kind of where I feel like I'm still struggling with. I can get on top of one thing, my basketball business, but then my other business is, suffering, or then I get on top of the other business, and I feel like the other business is, suffering. So that, I guess not big business, and I know the side business is not big, but just kind of two bigger businesses to try to balance it at the same time and still get majority of the work done,
Yeah. And
so I'll get better.
Yeah. And so with that, okay, one thing that popped into my head that could be a tip for you, if you're working on something and you said, oh, something popped into my head, so I wanted to go ahead and do it, and that took you off of your main focus. So what I would do, get a sticky note. Just have a little pack of sticky notes by you. That way, if something jots into your head, just jot it down on the sticky note for you to do later. That way you can go back to work and it's not pulling you from that main task. As far as you juggling the two businesses that you juggle each week, which that can be a struggle. I totally get that. You could find ways hey, you could, either you could break your day up and say the morning I'm going to focus on my skincare business. The afternoon I'm focusing on that business. You know what I mean? And break it up to where each day, even if it's okay, I have 4 hours and there's stuff I've got to do in both, break it up. Morning for, the school, the basketball, whatever. Afternoon for skincare.
Yeah. And that's what I've been doing.
Okay. That way, at least you're doing something in both, to where, you know what I mean? And it could take you a little bit to get in a flow and understand when life happens, it happens. You know what I mean? We're never going to be pooping rainbows all the time, and we're never going to be feeling like it all the time. And there's going to be struggles, but try those things and see if they help, and then just keep, until you find a flow that works for you.
Yeah. And then it's something else would come in and distract me and get me off of that flow. So it's going to be a constant battle.
But that's a good thing, because when those distractions come up, you can do something about it. So the next time, you know what I mean? What can you do so the next time you sit down, that distraction isn't a distraction.
Yeah.
And so I think about that. That's why I had to turn like any type off of like Facebook Messenger. There's I don't get any notifications. My phone does not go off because it was a major distraction. And even when I was working on something, I would hear the ding and I would automatically want to stop. So the next time I knew that, and I went and I shut off all of the sound, all of the notifications, and I'll get to Messenger when I get to Messenger.
Yeah.
You know, so try that.
I was gonna see if I could help Jaime with something. I don't know, because I was listening to her with the music and stuff. Like when I was teaching, we couldn't obviously put the whole book out there because of, you know, copywriting or whatever. We could only do like 2 or 3 pages. So I started thinking about that with her music. If she could just do like maybe the hook or, you know, so many minutes or seconds of the music and then just silence the rest of the dance. I don't know if that would help her. So it's not full copywriting or whatever, or what they were talking about. But like you said, I don't know all of that legal side of it.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Jaime?
Yes, that's a good idea. I'll write it down.
Okay. But I don't know how many like seconds or whatever, you know, just because like for me, like I love hip hop, and so the hook or whatever the music would get me interested, and then I would probably stay and watch the rest of the video even though there's no music, because I would know what song it is. So I guess where you wouldn't have to pay for all that other stuff or what, you know, we were talking about, but you still get hooked. So.
Yeah, I know that I've mentioned what was which you said it was high. Like Wistia, and there was another one that you could use like to house your music on it. It was Wistia and something else. Do you remember the software that I was telling you about?
No.
Because that's the thing, like if you put it up on YouTube or if you put it up on Facebook and it's like, you know, blurring it out, you know, having it, like I use Kajabi, you know what I mean? So every time I upload a video, it has like Wistia integrated with it. So all the videos are just uploaded like to Wistia. And now I've got something else, a different program where you can upload videos too, and it creates links, like clickable links where people can go and watch it at. I'm drawing a blank, I'll have to let you know. But that would be an option, a place for you to house your videos to where if you still wanted to run it with just a Facebook group, you see what I'm saying? Like you could upload those hip hop videos on a video like platform, so to speak. It's a monthly subscription for it or yearly. I'll have to remember. It's gonna rack my brain now until I figure out, because I actually have both. I have Wistia with Kajabi, and then with ClickFunnels where I house like my evergreen webinars. It's a different one that I had to get.
You talking about the Venmo?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And what did you do with it?
That's what the other 2 instructors that have all of their stuff on their webpage. That's what they use.
Okay. All right. And did they pay Vimeo, or who are they paying the copyright to?
I don't know the exact answer to that. I think that one of the girls is paying an overarching to somebody else, but I don't know if Venmo helps them. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I got stuck on a price tag and I was like, whoa, Nelly.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And so, but again, just think of some other things that you can do in the meantime, and you could always add hip hop cardio later. I mean, you could just regroup, go on like a 90-day run of building your audience while you're working out the details in the background of what you want your membership to be. And then maybe in 90 days, relaunch it. Even without the hip hop, and you could always add that in later once you have the, you know, the money to pay the copyright fees and stuff like that. Okay, so Let me go ahead and get to these other questions. If y'all have any other questions for me, just let me know. I'm going to run back through these because the other video did not save. Ray, are you? She's on here. I thought. Okay, yeah. So your question was, she says she is thinking about changing her Facebook page. She put up a post in the group asking about what she should change her Facebook page to because her MLM is getting, like, I think maybe bought out by somebody else or whatever. I always suggest using your name. That is a big thing for me, is using your name, because again, if you go with anything like cute and clever, like, I just don't think people are going to remember it. And I know that this has happened to me where I have been in a place to where I wanted to go and find a Facebook page, and I remembered the person's name, but she didn't have her page as her name. It was something like something, I don't know, but it didn't have her name in there. And so I couldn't find it. And it was always so frustrating to me because I couldn't ever remember the name of her business page, and I was always having to call somebody to find it. So I just think people are going to remember your name a lot easier than something else. But you said, you know, you could name it Makeup Artistry by Ray. Should I just incorporate my Avon to that page? I don't just use Avon in my makeup business. I do use Pro Makeup too. I don't want to confuse people about what I do that's separate from selling Avon. So here's the deal. Remember, like, this is the big thing. I would never, like, if there is a network marketing company, you never, ever, ever, this is like the kiss of death for network marketers. And I did it too, especially like on Facebook. It's the kiss of death to brand your company. So when you have like Avon by Ray, or, you know, whatever the case may be, and you have that network marketing company name in there, you're branding the company. You're not branding yourself. And when you brand the company, it does nothing to make you stand out as a person, to make you stand out as an individual. And so I totally, like, think it is fine. Like, if you're branding yourself, and let me know, Ray, too, how exactly, but if you're branding yourself as more like that makeup artist, it is totally fine for you to talk about other products than just the products sold by your network marketing company. Just to kind of mix things up, you know what I mean? If you, you know, like the products that you do sell, you know what I mean? Obviously, people can buy from you, and if they don't, tell them where to get it. And I want to say even now, like, and you would have to check to make sure it's not a conflict of interest with your company, but I'm almost positive that, like, Sephora has an affiliate program, maybe, where even when you talk about other products, like, you could still link to those. So I'm not really for sure if your MLM will allow you to be an affiliate of other products. You would just have to find that out. So, okay, so you said, see, that isn't what I want to do, so I will keep them separate. So what do you mean that isn't what I want to do? Clarify that for me so I can kind of help you. Because you said, I don't want to confuse people about what I do that's separate from selling Avon. Now, how are you branding yourself, Ray? Are you branding yourself as like the beauty, the makeup person? Or are you branding yourself as something different? So, okay, so you have a makeup page. If that's how, okay, you're branding yourself as a makeup artist. Okay, Ray's at work and she can't talk, so she's typing in the chat over here. So no, that's totally fine, Ray, totally fine. We get it. So with that being the case, I think it's totally fine for you, even if your company, you said, because your network marketing company is very strict and you aren't allowed to be an affiliate of other things that have makeup, which is totally fine. I would still talk about those other products too. You know what I mean? Because again, your MLM products, if you're in a network marketing company, and I don't care what freaking company it is, I don't care what industry it is, Those are back-end products you have to offer based on somebody's need, okay? Based on somebody's need. Because if your company goes out of business and you are constantly branding just your company, then what happens when the company goes out, or God forbid they get shut down by the FTC or something happens, and it does happen, okay? If you went to another company, people would like, and then you're talking about this new makeup company and you're hammering it, like the transition is not easy. You know what I mean? It makes you look like you're just kind of jumping around. But if you are branding yourself as more of that makeup person and you're giving tips and you're sharing tips, you know what I mean? If your company, if you were to switch companies on the back end, nobody would know. Like your business would go off like continue without a hitch, because you're branding yourself and you're building yourself as that makeup artist. And so I think it's totally fine with you using other products. And I just really want to see you, especially if you're building on Facebook, to create that curiosity on the platform when it comes to your own MLM products. I think it's totally fine. You know, mention other products that you're using. Hey, this come from Sephora, or this is what this brand is. This is my favorite primer, whatever the case may be. And then if you're doing a tutorial, let's say if you have makeup brushes, I have no idea if they have makeup brushes, maybe they do, but you can do a tutorial and you can talk about like the 5 ride or die brushes that every woman must have in her makeup bag. You know what I mean? And then at the end of that, you could even talk about, hey, all brushes are not created equally. And these are the reasons why I actually chose these particular brushes. And if you want to know how you can get your hands on them, hey, just hit me up and I'll be happy to share it with you. Or better yet, if you are on my newsletter, you know, I will send a link, or I'll send out an email later on today sharing exactly like how you can get your hands on these products. So if you're not on my list, make sure you're on it. Because I think with a network marketing company, it's totally fine to put links and stuff in your email list. So to me, it's a genius idea if you're talking about products. Keep the curiosity on, like, say, Facebook. And then what you can do is you can send out an email, you know what I mean? Like after the broadcast, you can send out an email with a list of all the products you used in that tutorial and exactly where they can get them. I wouldn't do that on a Facebook like page, but I would totally do that on like sending it out to your newsletter. Is that making some sense? If that is confusing, let me know. I think I explained it pretty good. Okay, you said I have a question about a newsletter too. Go ahead and drop that in there, and I am going to go ahead and let me know if that explanation too of doing both, like, let me know if that helped you or if you still need me to clarify anything while I'm asking or while I'm going through these other questions. So let me get to, have I already showed you guys how to do the different fonts, right? Okay, this is the second video. Thank you, Laura. So Stephanie Parisi had a question, and she said, if I'm marketing myself more business-wise on my profile, is my primary means of increasing skincare sales then going to be like prospecting and messaging? So the question or the answer to that is yes. You know what I mean? If you are, because you're building a network marketing, like a skincare network marketing company, and you're branding yourself and all your content is more business related, the last thing you want to do is constantly go back and forth and try to become the go-to on skincare while you're trying to become the go-to like in business. It's very conflicting, it's very confusing, and it will definitely not make you like become really known for something. So I would say yes. The biggest way to grow, like to get more skincare customers in your MLM is through like prospecting. However, here is the difference, and here is how you can spin this every now and then in your marketing. Because when it comes to business, I'm a very firm believer, especially with you targeting women, that there's a lot of extra topics that you can spin into business. If you're in skincare and you are doing like, you know, some tips on how to create more confidence, or you can do a video on how to get like video ready, your top tips to feeling more confident on video, or whatever the case may be. I'm just pulling them out of my butt right now and just throwing these topics at you. But you could always incorporate skincare in it, because I think when it comes to confidence as a woman, that the better you look, like not somebody else's perception of you looking your best. What is your perception of you looking your best? I think it's very important because I know for me personally, when I have like a little bit of makeup on and my skin is like, I feel like my skin's looking flawless, and I have, you know, my hair done, which I'll rock a mom bun all day long. But I just feel more confident. And when I feel more confident, I'm more productive. And when I'm more productive, like I am less moody and I'm more patient and I'm a better mom and I'm a better wife. So I think, you know, with all that being said, there's totally ways that you can pull in skincare as a means of being business related. Because again, it's all about perception and how you spin a piece of content. And just like with me, I think that health and wellness is very, very important. You know what I mean? So if somebody's branding themselves more of like a business coach or a marketing coach, and maybe they have like health and wellness network marketing products, I think they could totally spin it and talk about how creating success in your business is very much tied to how well that you take care of your body. Because I feel like if you aren't taking your health and making it a priority, you aren't going to be as motivated. You aren't going to be as driven. You aren't going to, you know what I mean? So I think that health plays such a big role in how like successful you are in your business. And I think making the priority is very important. And so, you know, I've even heard Amy Porterfield, she's done podcasts where she's talked about her weight loss journey and things like that. I don't know if she takes products or anything. I definitely know, I don't think she's has anything to do with a network marketing company, but she definitely spins it in from a business perspective, because how she feels about herself and how her health is going to directly be tied to how well her business does. So hopefully that makes some sense, Stephanie. But again, you can definitely spin some skincare tips in there from a business perspective. And you can just have a call to action to reach out to you or whatever. Now, the next question you said, if I'm marketing myself towards business as a marketing coach on my profile, can I also do occasional posts focused on the business side of skincare on my profile? Does that make sense? Yes, totally makes sense. And I think it's totally fine. So I've seen somebody else like, you know, create a health and wellness blueprint for network marketers. So they're a business coach, they target network marketers, and they created a lead magnet, so to speak, or maybe it's a paid product, I'm not sure. I think it's like a low dollar offer, but it was specifically for network marketers in a health and wellness company and how to grow it. So I totally think it's fine for you to do those type of posts too. You know what I mean? For people who are specifically in a skincare business, you can create content just for like skincare reps too. I think it's totally fine. Okay, so the next question, okay, Laura, you said you were going to ask me about that because you've been doing it lately. I talk about the product, but don't say the name. Then in my newsletter, I tell them more about it and the name of the product. Yeah, that's totally fine. And you can even link to the product as long as they've, you know, raised their hand and they're on your newsletter. I think it's totally fine. I'm just more of keeping the curiosity on Facebook. Now on YouTube, I would totally do a review and I would try to rank for that particular keyword because it's a search engine. And what do a lot of people do before they buy a product that they aren't aware of? For me, I go to YouTube and I'm like, hey, what's a review on this product? How do I use this product? You know what I mean? So I think it's totally, depending on where you're promoting it would depend. But yeah, newsletter's fine. So Ray says, it is a big, is that a big deal? They are getting hit twice. I can mix up my newsletter as I'm not that good with it yet, but I'm trying. My company does allow us to use links that will take the customer directly to our e-store. Okay. What do you mean they're getting hit twice? Let me know what you mean by that, Ray, because yeah. Let me know, clarify that while I move on to the next question. And I'm like, okay. You said the company sends emails with offer. Hey, if the company sends emails with the offer, remember that, hey, those aren't people on your list. You know what I mean? Like, you don't own that list. It's important for you to build a solid relationship with the people on your list. And who do you think that they would rather hear from? A big name brand company, or would they rather hear from you because they've opted in and they know you and they trust you? So yeah, I think it's totally fine. Definitely, you know, create a list. If you have customers, you can even add them, create a specific list just for customers only. You know, that way you can, you know, keep in touch with them as well as, you know, leads and prospects and other people who are wanting to know more. Yeah, if you can get a hold of their emails, I would absolutely create a customer list in your autoresponder. And it's totally fine. Again, they would rather hear from you than get an email from like a big company. So, and let me know if you have any other questions, right? And I'm going to move on real quick to Kelly's question, because she was struggling a little bit with like call to actions. And so she said, I just feel like an idiot when I go to the call to action part. Obviously, I have to get past it, but I also find the posts where I have calls to action, no one ever asks about what I'm offering, and they are posts I have the least likes on. Honestly, though, I haven't done a lot of these CTAs yet. So there's a couple of things that I want to talk about when it comes to a call to action that I want to make sure that you kind of that you understand. So when I say like call to actions, I'm meaning what is the next step you want somebody to take when it comes to your weekly value-driven content. So in module 2 of MML, you created a marketing plan. So you've decided what format of content you're going to deliver, where you're going to deliver it, how often, like all of those pieces. And then you are to stay consistent, like with your weekly value content. Mine is on YouTube. That is where I'm putting it out. And then obviously I promote it on the different social platforms. So every week I'm going to have some type of call to action. And that could be, you always, again, when you are creating a piece of content, you're mapping it out. The first thought is, what is the end goal? Like, what is the next step that I want people to take? Is the goal to get people on my newsletter? Is the goal to get them to, schedule a consultation call? Is the goal simply to build my list and to, build my subscribers up, build my following up? What is the goal? Is it to purchase a product? So you always want to think about what the goal is of that piece of content. Now, I feel like a lot of people get mixed up in the thought of social media posts should have, like every social media post should have a call to action. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You absolutely need a call to action in your value-driven weekly content. But when you are doing just regular social media posts, you don't always have to have, a call to action. That's where you're entertaining, educating, you're inspiring. You're going back to, I did a bonus lesson inside of MML in your members area about how to create just more engaging social media posts. And some of them are just inspiring. Some of them are, you know what I mean? Like, not all of them are just promotional or hammering or, like reach out to me, PM me, like anything like that. Some of them are just to build my audience and people just want to connect and have a conversation and engage on your content and stuff like that. So I don't want you, I want you to know the difference, and I want you to let yourself off the hook if it's social media posts that you don't always have to have a CTA, okay? And if you need help on any particular, like call to action, if you're thinking about putting up a post and maybe you're asking yourself like, hey, should I have one? Does it need one? And if it does need one, like maybe what should it be? Give yourself enough time, like try to come up with one like in advance or whatever, and post it in the Mom's Marketing Lounge, like post it in the group, okay? And that way we can help you. Like I can look at it and I can kind of chat with you back and forth, because I think the more that you do it, obviously the easier it's going to get, right? So hopefully that helps, Kelly. But again, I feel like I'm going to be able to help you a lot more if you post specific things in the group, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this post. What's a call to action? give me some examples, and then I can kind of help you in the comments of that post, and we can come up with a call to action. And it may not even need one, but if it does, we can chat about it. So the next question, I think there was only a couple more. Okay, Stephanie said, somewhere I missed the memo on how to make writing bold in a post. Okay, I showed that already. And I answered Ray's question. So the last thing that I was wanting to do real quick, and I'm hoping, I'm going to cross my fingers, you cross your fingers too, and your toes, that my mouse does not freeze whenever I go to Facebook. So let me go here, because Stephanie wanted me to check out her profile. Stephanie, oops. Okay, let me go to Stephanie, leave this page. I know I did this on the first video. She was wanting me to check out this intro. And here's the deal with the intro, because you said you changed it. I'm wondering if this is the new updated or if you haven't updated it yet. Let me know either way. But as far as this one, when I look at this intro, you say, loved by God, loving creation, bear wife, ex-man's mom. Now, with this particular intro, I would have no idea. And just looking at your featured photos, which I so want to go to Alaska and steal your dog, by the way. I would not have any clue that you were in business, what problem like you solved, what you helped people with. Like, I would have to do some scrolling to find out. So that's the thing that I love about like an intro, is that you, like, people are automatically going to know if they aren't connected to you what you help people with without having to guess. So if you look at mine says marketing, branding nerd, productivity junkie, and then helping you stand out online. So if somebody is new and they don't know anything about marketing, they're looking for help with marketing, as soon as they land on my profile, they're automatically going to know that that's what I'm into. So mine is very clear, concise. Right now, Stephanie, yours isn't. If you are planning to update that and that's just not your new one, let me know and I'll go back and look at your new one. Now, the last thing is that I wanted to do was I wanted to go to Tammy's profile, because I wanted to go over some of her social media posts on her profile. Now, let me know, Tammy, if you are not marketing on your Facebook profile. I'm almost sure that that's where you are creating your content and everything at. So when I look at your intro, I see motivational and mindset coach, Jesus girl, wife, mom, Gma, helping you create your best life. Okay, so the first thing I noticed right off the bat is all of your posts are set to friends only. So just know when you are not making your posts public and you are making them to where it's friends only, that you are drastically reducing the reach and exposure of your post, okay? So you're kind of like closing the door and not letting anybody new in, especially, you know, and I mean, if you want to grow your audience and you have new people coming to your profile and they can't see any posts, they're going to be a lot less likely to want to connect with you because they can't see what you're about. So that's the first thing. Just update it. It's a simple 2-second fix to change it to public. Now, this post, trying something new, that's fine, which I love ciabatta bread. So this post, you said it's been a long and short couple of weeks. They will soon be here anytime. Thank you, Jesus, for a safe flight home. Can't wait to see them. So this post didn't get a ton of engagement. I feel like it could have gotten more, but I'm so confused by this post. So who's going to be here soon? Are you flying? Like, is somebody else flying in? You know, so if I had more information, or like you told a story, but this post is just confusing to me. So I think with a few tweaks, you could have gotten like more engagement on it. And then scrolling down, this is just where you talked about, it almost slowed me down. I found the sock. Thank God the water worked after the vacuum sucked it up. So with this, I think this is relatable, because as a woman, I can't tell you how many things I've sucked up in a vacuum cleaner. So, I mean, this is more like funny lifestyle. You could have, you know, hey, what's the worst thing you've sucked up in your vacuum cleaner, or something like that, just to get like the conversation going and more people engaging. Now, when I scroll down here, This is the one that confused me because this says you're feeling defeated. I'm done for today. Stick a fork in me, done. The day has pretty much been wasted. Nothing worked. The key broke off like cardboard. I still get the Dremel charged up and try again tomorrow. Last resort, any ideas welcome. And so, okay, now you said on the bright side, better it happened to me than to mom. We will not be using this kind of block again. Okay, so I do like how you said like on the bright side, but for me, okay, when I'm looking at this post, I feel like you could have tweaked it, because with this post, it's kind of like with you saying you feel defeated, and then it's just kind of like bitching a little bit. But then up here, you're a motivational and mindset coach, and you're helping people create their best life. But yet right here, this is not aligning with that. So one way to make this post to where it's a little bit like just not as negative is, you know, I feel like posts like this, like it's fine in a sense that you are showing people that you're relatable. And every now and then, like, we're going to feel defeated, and we're not always going to be, you know, shooting rainbows out of our butts, and everything's not going to be perfect. And, you know, so I like the fact that you are showing people like, hey, everybody has bad days. But maybe one way that you could have tweaked this was to say, hey, like, everybody has bad days. You know, even, you know, me as somebody who is a motivational coach and helping people, like, I want to help you live your best life. Like, I still have crap days. So one thing you could have done, sorry, I'm just like totally thinking in the back of my head, like, mouse, please don't stick. Please don't stick. One thing that you could have done, and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, is how could you have taken that post and twisted it or spun that post to not only show your relatability, but twist it to give people some tips. Like, this is what happened to me today. It sucked. And, you know, like, every day is not going to be great. But, you know, so if you're having one of those days yourself and you feel like everything's going wrong, here are 3 tips that really help me when that, you know, when I feel really defeated or really down, and you give some tips, you know what I mean? Like, that could be one. Instead of that post, I feel like it was just more negative. Now, that's just one post. I didn't scroll all the way down, and I don't see you being negative like a ton. So don't think that, Tammy, I'm jumping you in any way. I'm just giving you honest feedback, okay? So another thing that I wanted to tell you is just scrolling back, like those several different posts, I didn't see anywhere any type of content where you were teaching me something, you were helping me solve a problem, and I would not, like, if I wanted to buy something from you and you wanted me to whip out my credit, like, I wouldn't know how. Like, I'm not seeing any content. So I'm just kind of curious, you know, and let me know too, once you know, once the replay's up and you're able to check this out, I'm curious as to if you're building somewhere other than your Facebook profile. If your Facebook profile is where you're building, then we really need to go back and, you know, to module 2, come up with your marketing plan. And because I think that you can really, you know, build an audience and create some more engagement if, you know what I mean, like, you have that consistent content. And I'm more than happy to help you come up with it. You just let me know, okay? So that is all I have for you guys today. That's all the questions that I have been given. So you guys let me know, are you good to go? Are you have any other questions? Or are you guys good to go? No crickets for you today. Yay! I know. On Tuesday, I was on and I was just like, this is so weird. I've never had a pop-up coaching session where like everybody bails on me. This is so weird. And then I got off and I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. Like, I totally just didn't do it at the time that I said was on the schedule. So yeah, I was like, no wonder nobody was on. I was wondering. All right. Well, I am going to be posting to the schedule. I'm going to try to get that done. It'll be by Sunday. but just go ahead. Generally, you know, Tuesdays at 1 are generally the day that the pop-up coaching sessions are going to be. So I'm just going to let you know, Tuesday, July 2nd, 1 p.m. Central Time. You can go ahead and put that on your calendar because I will be there at 1 p.m. So, but then I'll get the rest of the schedule up. If you have any suggestions on when you want me to do a pop-up session, if you're somebody who can never seem to get on live, then put in the comments of this video before Sunday, because Sunday is when I'm going to post it. So put it in the comments before Sunday, or you're just going to have to wait till August before I do the schedule again and accommodate you. But anyways, y'all crush it. You know where to find me. I'm here if you need me. So y'all have an awesome day. Bye. All right. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this behind the scenes session from one of our MML VIP group coaching sessions. And again, if you are somebody who's struggling when it comes to building your business online and you feel like you're just stuck, you don't know where to get started or what you should be working about, or you know what you should be working on first, second, and third, so you're not having to go back and like redo everything, then definitely take a look at the MML program. Again, everything will be linked below in the description, but you can go to momsmarketinglounge.com, check out all the details. And again, it is a self-study program with the option to add on group coaching. If you have any particular questions or you're curious as far as, is this program, like, is it going to be a good fit for me? Then comment below or reach out to me. I'll leave my information below. Let's chat and see if it's a good fit. Hopefully it is, and I will see you on the inside. Hope you have the most fabulous day, and I'll see you back here later on for another video. Bye for now.